As usual, I will be doing the talking for Guz. His voice sounds crap on video, and he says he has a perfect face for radio. So here we go. He wanted a large 8-track reel-to-reel for the man cave. It will be modified to play 4 stereo tracks so he can have some music while he works. He picked one up on eBay that said it was for spares or repair, but when it arrived, it was badly damaged. One of the wheel table was completely smashed. The delivery driver had taken no care whatsoever. One of the knob adapters was cracked, and the reel table bracket broken off the motor. When the cover was removed, things did not look much better. It was clear that this machine has been stored in a damp environment. There were signs of watermarks and corrosion in the front panel and on the PCB. So, let's start stripping it down and see if it can be saved, as it will be a shame to scrap it. First job is to remove the motors and brake assembly. The motors can be stripped and cleaned. Then, the head block can be removed. Removing the pinched wheel assembly to get to the belt. That black stuff is what's left of the old belt. You can see the corrosion on the bottom plate. This will be cleaned and treated later. All the PCBs had to be removed, as they were in poor condition. Gary will have to repair every PCB in this machine due to water damage and corrosion. The smaller PCBs will go in the ultrasonic bath to get all the corrosion off, and clean the solder, so he can see any bad joints. 5 minutes later, most of the crap has been removed. So with most of the smaller PCB cleaned, it is time to test and repair them. The aim is to try and get power to the logic board, and see what works and what needs sorting. It will take a few days just to repair the corroded boards. So with the mechanics still stripped and all the boards cleaned and hopefully working, it is time to start fitting them ready to power up and test. Now all the main boards fitted, there is one more job to sort out before Gary can power this up. He noticed that the mains cable has no earth wire, and as this has a metal frame, he decided to fit one. With that job done, it was put to one side for a couple of weeks, until the parts arrived from Greece, 2 weeks later. So, putting the new belts on the reworked flywheel is the start of the mechanical rebuild. With all the main bits back in place, it's time to check motors and switches work okay. Well, there seems to be a logic fault. It will not go into play mode, and the function buttons are not working. There are some cracks in the board, probably from the delivery damage. This will need to be fixed and the logic IC replaced. The next job is to replace the real table bracket. The one on the right is the old broken one. The one on the left is from a different machine, so will need to be modified to fit this one. There are 2 set screws on the back of the real table, to allow the height to be adjusted. This is set to the correct height as per the manual. A quick run through the functions to see all the motors and solenoids are working. Then the brake bands can be fitted and adjusted. Things are starting to look a bit more like this may work. With the circuit board repaired, the front control panel can be replaced. Time to put some reels on it and give it our tests. Still needs some setting up, and it seems to have a noisy bearing somewhere on the tensioner. It's good to see the covers going on, but there is still a lot to do. A quick respray of the side and back covers was needed. They were all scratched and rusty. A quick clean prior to the tests, but this will need to be done properly before a decent tape is used. The tape used for testing is an old Ampex that has suffered tape death. It's gone sticky and useless for recording, but okay to test transport functions. Finally get to put it in its permanent position in the man cave. I can now select up to 4 stereo tracks to listen to and just let it run. That should be the end, but Gary decided he wanted to be able to select tracks, so it all came apart again. So, covers back on and some new spools. All done.